How did a kid from a small Virginia town transform into a multimillionaire powerhouse with one of the most jaw-dropping lifestyles in the game? And more importantly, how much is Chris Brown actually worth in this year? In this exclusive deep dive, we're cracking open the vault of Breezy's life, his luxury real estate, his fleet of futuristic supercars, his wild business moves, and the personal stories that shaped it all. From the music to the mansions, from heartbreak to hustle, this is the full picture of a man who's still rewriting his legacy, one beat at a time. So buckle up, because once we go inside Chris Brown's world, you won't want to come back out. Before the multi-platinum records, before the red carpets, Lamborghinis, and Grammys, before the headlines and flashing lights, there was just Christopher Maurice Brown, a wide-eyed boy from Tappahannock, Virginia. A town so small, if you blinked while driving through, you might miss it entirely. Born on May 5, 1989, Chris grew up in a modest household. His mother, Joyce Hawkins, ran a daycare center with warmth and grit, while his father, Clinton Brown, worked as a local corrections officer, tough exterior, soft heart. Life wasn't glamorous, but it was real. His days were filled with gospel on Sundays, chores after school, and more than anything else, music. The sound of soul music would drift from the living room stereo, like perfume. Marvin Gaye, Al Green, Anita Baker. Chris didn't just hear the music, he felt it. That was the start, the spark. Before long, hip-hop crept into his world. Usher, Tupac, and his ultimate idol, Michael Jackson. He would study every move, every note, every breath MJ took on stage, mimicking him in the mirror like a young man possessed by a dream. But even as he danced and sang in front of that mirror, Chris was battling demons no child should face. When he was just 6, his parents divorced, a fracture that shook the foundation of his young world. Things got darker when his mother entered an abusive relationship. Chris, still a child, would hide in fear as his mother was attacked in the next room. He remembers it vividly, paralyzed, powerless, yet absorbing every scream, every silence that followed. The trauma reached its peak when her partner attempted to end his own life with a gunshot to the head. He survived, but blind and even more unstable. What followed was a chapter of chaos that left deep scars. In his raw 2017 documentary, Welcome to My Life, Chris opened up about those years. His voice trembled as he spoke of the helplessness, the guilt, the rage he buried deep. But in that darkness, music became more than a passion. It became his lifeline. By the time Chris was 10, it was clear he had something special. At 11, he shocked a summer camp audience with a full-throttle performance of Cisco's Thong Song. Yes, that song. Controversial choice for a kid? Absolutely. But what stuck with people was the confidence, the raw magnetism, and the vocal chops that seemed far beyond his age. Encouraged by his mother, who saw more than just a talented son, she saw a star, Chris started chasing the dream in earnest. He sang in the church choir, joined every local talent show, and mimicked the greats until their greatness started to feel like his own. The hunger grew. His mom began driving him to auditions in larger cities, sometimes for hours, hoping someone would take notice. And one day someone did. At 13, Chris was discovered by a local production team that introduced him to industry executives in New York. Soon after, he made the boldest move of his life, dropping out of Essex High School at 16 to pursue music full time. It was a gamble, but for Chris, there was no plan B, and it paid off. Because not long after, the world met Chris Brown, the artist, for the very first time. When Chris Brown dropped his self-titled debut album in 2005, the industry didn't just take notice, it paused. Here was a 16-year-old kid with velvet vocals, sharp dance moves, and charisma that radiated through the TV screen. The moment Run It hit the airwaves, everything changed. The single shot straight to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, making Chris the first male artist since Montel Jordan in 1995 to debut at the top spot. He wasn't just another R&B singer, he was a lightning bolt in sneakers, but it wasn't beginner's luck. 2 years later, his sophomore album Exclusive dropped and solidified his place in music royalty. The hits kept coming. Kiss Kiss, With You, Forever. His voice, flawless. His dancing, Michael Jackson Reborn, his stage presence, electric. Brown wasn't just rising, he was floating. By 2009, just 4 years into his career, he dropped Graffiti, an album that leaned experimental. It may not have landed like the first two, but it laid the groundwork for the reinvention that would follow. Then came F.A.Me in 2011. The album title stood for Forgiving All My Enemies, and it roared onto the scene like a lion. It became his first Billboard 200 #1 album and won him his first Grammy Award for Best R&B Album.